Hi, it's Ra, Rishi Kavi Raghudas from Star Presence Astrology, here to give the astrological forecast for Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. A lot of get up and go energy today. The sun is at 12 degrees of grand and glorious fire sign Leo. Always a very active and leadership-oriented kind of energy. Let's see, do we have some gold? Yes, we got a little gold here for the sun-ruled fire sign of Aries, and of course we have our Route 66 shirt on here, basically because there's a whole lot of active energy going on today, and that is partly because the moon is moving through the latter degrees of another fire sign, and that is the dynamic and impetuous fire sign of Aries. Yes, we've got our red jacket on here today, red velvet, for the Mars-ruled fire sign of Aries, red for Mars. Now, the combination of sun and moon in fire signs basically means it's a very active, passionate, maybe conflict-prone sort of a day. You want to be careful with all that fire, and we can certainly use fewer wildfires around, couldn't we? The moon does make a hard 90-degree square to Mercury, planet of communication, during the early part of the day, which is a little tough on the communication front, so you want to be careful not to get into arguments with people. The moon at that point is at 22 degrees of Aries, and Mercury is at 22 degrees of water sign Cancer. 7:17 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when that's exact. 12:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 5:17 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. About 4 hours go by, 4.5 hours, and then we come to a lovely aspect. The moon at 25 degrees of Aries by that point makes us smooth 60 degrees sextile to Mars, a planet of energy and sometimes conflict, but Mars is at 25 degrees of Gemini, and this is a harmonious energy, so this is really good for communication and get up and go kind of energy. 11:52 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when that's exact. 2:52 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 7:52 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. But after that, the moon goes void of course, meaning it's not making another major aspect until it moves into the next sign in the evening, and things tend to fall a little flat under a void of course moon, so get things done early if you can. The moon does make a minor aspect, which is the 150-degree inconjunct from 28 degrees of Aries to Venus, a planet of love and affection and general harmony in life and money. We can't forget that. 28 degrees of Virgo, and this means you're going to have to pay attention to all these things and maybe adapt, adjust, accommodate if something is up with those areas in your life. 4:20 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when that's exact. 7:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 12:20 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The moon then moves into the practical, steady she goes Earth sign of Taurus at 7:35 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. 10:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 3:35 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So the mood changes in the evening very considerably into something a little bit more peaceful and steady, and we can certainly use that. The moon does conjoin Chiron, called the Wounded Healer, which has just, as of yesterday, turned retrograde at 0 degrees, 51 minutes of Taurus, which basically means that issues could come up in the evening, so you want to be a little careful. 9:07 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when that's exact. 9:07 p.m. Eastern Pacific Daylight Time, 12:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 5:07 a.m. tomorrow, Greenwich Mean Time. So it's one of those days in which we're just going to have to step a little carefully. We've got lovely energy midday, and then things get a little tricky. So easy does it if you can today. I'm Ra, Rishi Kavi Raghudas from Star Presence Astrology. Now, if you would like to have a personal reading with me, you can book it on my website. Please do. starpresence.net. Remember, from the very moment that you're born, you've got star presence. Enjoy today, no matter what.